I'm Zach Moody. I am the head of Global Information Security at Kyocera AVX. We are a leader of advanced electronic components. We've been a customer and using the SentinelOne EDR platform since 2018. The EDR platform has helped us achieve our business goals by providing the best security against ransomware, which is our number one threat to our business. So we use EDR, we use Ranger for network discovery, trying to find out where all the endpoints that may reside that do not have an agent, especially for rogue devices that may come up on the network that are not protected that should be. So it gives us an opportunity to be able to isolate those until we have the proper protections in place. We've seen a lot of benefits since we've deployed SentinelOne many years ago, and it was a time where we were able to consolidate around 7 to 8 different antiviruses globally, saving costs, saving from licensing, human capital, and maybe time from the amount of time it takes to keep up with some of the legacy technologies. But other than that, the product itself gives us so much visibility to things that we didn't have visibility to before, and not just that. Visibility is also giving us access to every endpoint globally from a single platform. So my engineers and my SOC operators are able to touch every endpoint globally in a matter of seconds. And all the data that we're getting from the platform we're able to consolidate that and actually build rule sets and build protections and automated playbooks to be able to help save us time so we can focus on some of the bigger threats that we have. SentinelOne has a huge impact on our risk management posture, right? And in my viewpoint, especially with ransomware being our biggest threat to our business, so it's downtime for operations, right? If manufacturer's not making product, right, we're not making money. And so with that being our biggest risk, right, this is probably the biggest impact to our risk posture that from a technology perspective that we have in our stack. Yeah, SentinelOne's helped us improve our analyst efficiency. Just the simple fact that it's a singular platform, right, where they have access to every endpoint data that's out there in the world in our scope of devices. It gives them ability at their fingertips to actually dive deep into the telemetry data that they need in order to make a justification or make a decision about a threat. SentinelOne also helps us to reduce noise, right? By the fact that we do leverage SentinelOne's Vigilance or SentinelOne Vigilance as a managed service provider, which takes a load off of my analyst, but also helps us develop playbooks to cut down on the noise and helps us to prioritize what matters the most, which makes us way more efficient and makes us speedier when it comes time to react to a threat. SentinelOne, especially the Vigilance team, helps us to reduce false positives, not only because of the technology itself being so good at what it does, but also the information that we get related to a threat or to a alert, let's say. It's enough information for us to have some sort of disposition on what that is, so we can actually write a rule or through a click of a button to be able to mute that, so it's not constantly coming to the surface. Absolutely, SentinelOne helps us with our incident response process tenfold. So we have so many options from automation to now using Purple AI to help us to help give my analysts more confidence in their abilities, right? Because it's an amplifier, it's not really a replacement. It's a way for them to build their confidence in their skill set, but it also increases our efficiency and our time to respond to threats. The storylines with SentinelOne are probably one of the first things that really caught my attention back when EDR was new to the market, and those storylines really help the analyst, develop a storyline or improve their storyline that they've already developed. SentinelOne helps us with our mean time to detect, just by the fact that we have every endpoint consolidated into one platform, right? And so The prioritization based on the rule sets, prioritization based on the type of devices, whether that's based on classification of the data it holds or classification of what department or how sensitive of a manufacturing process that we have in that environment. But through those through tags or through tagging that SentinelOne provides us, so through those methods, right, it really helps to cut down on the detection time for my analysts. The platform provides multiple ways to communicate to us, and even with the addition of Vigilance and their managed services, there's a very drastic reduction of mean time to respond based on that information that they give us. The information that we receive through those methods, it really gives us a high fidelity of information that we can make a lot quicker decisions on the threats. From an organization perspective, SentinelOne helps us, and helps me and empowers my team to be able to communicate to the business about some of the adversarial threats that we have in our environment. A lot of times what we see is either the team, person, or endpoint, or production or line unit, right, that's impacted comes to us with reports of a false positive when in fact it's not. And so it's really helping us to educate and inform and reinforce to the organization that this is why we're here, right? We're here to help, and we're here to help the business grow. Yeah, so AI is huge, right? And it's a topic that comes with a lot of different variables, right? Some good, some not so good. But AI as a whole is not something to fear, right? It's something that is no different than mobile computing was or cloud computing was. We have to embrace it. And by embracing it, it really empowers security organizations and security leaders and security teams to make them, it empowers them to make more and better decisions, but also saves them time, because a lot of the stuff that they're doing can be automated. It can be automated through the use of AI. So it empowers the defenders, right? And by empowering them, it saves them time, and it allows them to focus on more important projects, or more important topics, or more important threats. And through that automation, through AI, it really helps us cut down our mean time to detect and mean time to respond. SentinelOne, just like any other vendor out there, will have its challenges, right? One thing that I can say for SentinelOne is throughout our history as a partner and as a customer, is that they've followed through with every commitment that they've made, and that's huge, right? I don't look for a vendor, I look for a partner, a long-term partner. And CISOs need partners, right, to be successful. We have to lean on each other. So there are things that we can do to improve the console or improve the product, and they are making strides in that. And one value that I can bring to them is the fact that I'm on the advisory board. As a customer, we bring problems or challenges or even opportunities to them that they actually take back to their product teams, marketing teams, to come up with a solution. So being able to ride side by side with some of the development that they're making, whether it's now, near future or far future, right, is pivotal to the success of a security organization. You know, back when we looked at an EDR, it was very much the times of having a single agent was a big deal, right? We've come a long way since then, but that was one of the primary reasons that we chose SentinelOne, was their ability to be able to package everything from a single agent. And even till today, I mean, even from the perspective of Ranger, where every endpoint can act in itself a network discovery instance, it's still one agent, and that's huge. SentinelOne stands out to me apart from the competition just based on the fact that, again, they stand by every commitment that they make. They're extremely transparent. They're extremely collaborative with their customer base. And everything that the customers bring to the table, they take back to their product and make the product better. Because again, it's a two-way street, right? We have to give, right? We're investing. We're giving them money for a product, so we're investing in them. And at the same time, we want to have a voice, and so they allow us to have a voice. And just the fact that they are a true partner sets themselves apart from the competition. So not only is being a true partner, SentinelOne's a true partner, right? And that makes a difference, and that's what sets themselves apart from the competitors. Their transparency, their willingness to work with customers and receive feedback, and have that humility to be able to admit their faults, right? But figure out a way forward with their trusted partners, right? The customers. So aside from that, they've done a really good job at getting the endpoints correct, right? They've done a good job at saturating the market with such a good endpoint product. And once you're on an endpoint, which is our most critical telemetry data that we have, right? Because if you think about network and email, those are all delivery methods. But at the end of the day, the crime is only committed at the target location, right? Which is the endpoint. So again, with that being the most valuable information that we have, and they've done such a good job at that, they're already there, right, at the endpoint. So there's a lot of other things that they can do to improve the data that they have with things like identity, right? Things like network discovery. And these are opportunities where now that you take Purple AI to put on top, as a security team, we're able to extend that breadth of reach across multiple facets or multiple layers of defense, all from one single platform. SentinelOne makes it very easy from a licensing perspective by reducing the amount of modules or packages that they have to offer. Whereas a lot of other vendors, they make it very complicated, where every line item is a separate module or separate cost, right? They do their best to really bundle, the necessities. Security leaders aren't left wondering, or being confused by what other options are out there. The bundles serve my needs, and as they bring on more technologies and more offerings, those are being either bundled with the premium packages or whatever that they have, or they're being bundled separately as another SKU. So I've had several colleagues looking at SentinelOne and comparing them against some of the competitors, which is what you're supposed to do, right? But one thing that I would tell them is continue to encourage them to look beyond the product, look beyond the product to the leadership teams and the product teams and the development teams, and how closely they sit to the customer and how critical that is. And not just for the near term, but for the far term into the future, right? Where we're really going to be heavily dependent on each other. So the support teams from SentinelOne are just about in every language across the world, which is very helpful from a multinational corporation, right? So we have teams in all throughout the world, right? So giving them or empowering them to be able to call support in their language reduces the time it takes to solve the problems that they have. From a scale of 1 to 10, they're definitely a 10. It's not just from product specific or customer support specific or even roadmap specific. It's all three combined or a lot of different ones combined that really give it that score. Again, having a true partnership means that you're bringing everything to the table, right? You're working on this and you're helping each other grow each other's business together. Going back to how SentinelOne is a true partner, we've had our issues, right? We've had our incidents. We've had some times where I've been desperate and needed help, right? And they've been there, right? And not just there at the meat of it. They've actually have traveled that road all the way to the end with me, and that speaks volumes, right? And so if I had to tell colleagues and tell people that may not be using SentinelOne today to definitely take a look. And again, it's behind the curtain, it's behind the actual product and behind the marketing, right? Look into the teams, look into the leadership, look into the success of other customers out there like myself. Call them, talk to them, challenge the product, challenge the teams, but don't let the first responses ever be the answer you go with. Like, continue to develop that relationship, and that's what you should look for as a partner.